Why, hello there. Hello? You good?
I really have to get that light switch fixed. Hello there, finder of the assassins.
Who are you?
My name is not important. What important is,
Wait, that plaque says Florence.
ignore that name. And if you don't, then fear it.
Who names their kid Florence?
Loving parents who thought they were getting a girl. Never mind.
What do you want with me?
You are the chosen one. You are the one that able to decipher our identities and find our mark within history.
Oh, that. I was trying to look up physics.
Are you serious? Well, I guess I gotta kill you.
Wait, no. I'm that chosen thing. Back up.
Alright. Fine. We'll tell you. You see, us assassins have found a treasure. A treasure full of unknown wonders. But alas, it's locked away. Sealed until someone finds a code.
What do I do?
They say the code can be cracked if one was to play and analyze the Assassin's Creed games. And by finding a connection, can unlock the treasure.
I think I can manage that.
Good.
Just one question though.
Sure.
Why are we in a basement?
Think fast. That was smooth, Florence. Yeah.
Man, that guy needs to be nicer. Well, if I want to solve this thing, I guess I gotta start somewhere. So let's review Assassin's Creed 1 for the Xbox 360. We start off with random flashes in a weird place as people yell at us from beyond. He wakes up and responds accordingly. It is revealed that our protagonist, a bartender and retired assassin named Desmond Miles, has been kidnapped by a strange group who wants something from him. After being threatened, he lies back down. One of the scientists explains that he is a machine called the Animus, a machine that can read memories. He explains that each individual carries the memories of their ancestor through their genetic coding. That's bullshit! What was that? After entering the machine and learning how to control things, you see Altair stab a man in the back and, after going down a hallway, challenges someone to a fight for something called the Ark. And after failing to stab him, he is thrown through a wall and the two assassins that were with you die. After finding the way out of the cave, the machine starts to skip past all the dull walking and puts you back in the assassin's home. You meet up with the master and explain how you were unsuccessful, and that the two assassins that were with you died. Suddenly, one of the assassins, who you believe dead, arrives with the Ark and explains that Altair messed up. Suddenly, one of the locals comes in and explains that they are under attack, and they put their discussion on hiatus. After fighting some of the invaders, you are told to climb a tower. The enemies show up, and to show how fearless you are, you commit suicide. Just kidding. You emerge from a haystack and reach a vantage point where you're able to kill off the majority of their army.
To a more recent one.
The master congratulates you, but criticizes you how you disrespected the creed, and as punishment, you get stabbed. Back to the future, the lady decides to put Desmond out of the machine and give him a little break and catch up on his sleep. He wakes up, has a conversation, then is immediately put back into the machine. Back on memory lane, we see that Altair is still kicking. The master explains that he has allowed him to have a second chance at being an assassin. A remember, if you will. He also explains that he's been stripped of rank, weapons, and must be a novice once again. However, he is able to reclaim this stuff and be at full strength once he completes certain requests. He's also stripped of most of his synchronization bar as well, as much as that doesn't make much sense. Up first is a black market merchant named Tamar, located in Damascus. After one long horse ride, you finally arrive at Damascus. After locating the Assassin's Guild, you are told to find evidence in order to figure out what a good time to strike would be. Evidence can be gathered in the form of pickpocketing, eavesdropping, or beating up people. Once you do, you are allowed to go to a location and assassinate that person. After meeting up with them and sticking a knife in the windpipe, he tells you some cryptic things and you run away. Once you do, you're transported back to the headquarters where you either leave with a new weapon or get stuck into the real world for a sec. Each assassination follows the same pattern, with minor differences between them. They don't come together or add to the plot, so...
1, 2, skip a few, 9 Templar.
After killing the 8th Templar, you are sent to Jerusalem to kill Robert. You meet up with him, but... it's a chick.
I sense you expected someone else.
What sorcery is this?
She explains that they knew he would try to kill him, so they decided to dupe him. It turns out that Robert was going to go see Arthur and use the killings to justify a unified attack against the assassins. Altair heads off to the meeting spot, and after fighting through some guards, meets up with King Richard and explains how those men were corrupt. King Richard then decides that they must duel to the death, and the winner will be the one he believes. After killing Robert, Robert reveals that there were 10 Templars, and the last one was Muhalla Alex. Then IRL, we hear a team of assassins trying to rescue Desmond, but fail. We also learn that the assassins are almost completely wiped out. Desmond reacts by swearing a little bit and then getting back into the machine. After confronting Alex, he uses mystical powers and fights Altair. After a long battle of teleportation, we finally kill him. Afterwards, a map is shown, and the simulation ends. Then people from behind a curtain talk to you, you stare at a wall, and the credits roll.
Oh my god.
There are two essential gameplay mechanics, the parkour and the fighting. As an assassin, you are given a set of weapons to help deal with any kinds of killing. You have your trademark blade, which, when sneaking up on an enemy, can instantly kill them and make you go unnoticed. You have sword for fighting enemies at melee distance and blocking attacks, as well as throwing knives, which can deal long-range damage. You can also use your fist if you forgot what you were playing. Also, as an assassin, you get access to Eagle Vision, which allows you to see important things like enemies and targets. It's very hard to use mid-combat because it leaves you wide open for any attack. For the majority of the game, you're going to be using your sword. Rarely do you even use the hidden blade or throwing knives because enemies are grouped together, and once one of them is dead, they all notice you and chase you until Kingdom Come. When they spot you, and they will, it always slows down the pace. You either have to fight a way too large amount of enemies, or you have to run away. On the topic of running away, you essentially have 4 movement speeds. One is where you walk in a prayer mode, which guards don't notice because it's the equivalent of a mother trying not to wake up her sleepy children. There's a normal walk, which makes guards very suspicious of your jolly little nature. You can jog if you want to get caught by all the guards, or you can run, which in turn activates the parkour system. With the parkour system, you can climb up broken buildings, run across rooftops, and jump your way through the city. However, I don't think this game does that very well. One thing is that the pathfinding is very weird. Sometimes I go the way I want it to go, but other times I find myself taking the most backwards route I can, missing the roof entirely, or having the game glitch up because he grabbed the ledge he wasn't supposed to. Some of these problems occurred because of the movement system. In order to run, you need to hold the right trigger button and hold A. This also makes Altair jump and climb. However, if you don't let go of A fast enough or redirect yourself, you could end up leaping towards nothing and falling to your doom. Speaking of glitches, there are those that pop up from time to time. Most of them involve characters doing things like bouncing around during talks or glitching through things, but some of them are really weird. Sir, are you okay? Mister, you want me to go get help? No? Okay. All across the game, you come across viewpoints that allow you to become synchronized and fill up part of your map. This may sound useful, but it really isn't. Most of the viewpoints don't reveal anything interesting, and all other times it leads you to a helpless citizen. Also, a lot of the viewpoints are literally copy-paste and gets rather dull after a while. All over the place are mean bullies harassing the poor innocent civilians, and it's up to us to stop them. You do this by filling out a form, reaching out a support group, and teaching them the error of their ways. Just replace form with knife, teaching with killing, and take out the support group. But what do you get for helping out these citizens? Vigilantes, which say they will stop guards that are pursuing you, and scholars that will hide you. These, again, sound very useful, but using them while you're getting chased is next to impossible. Their locations are scattered enough that trying to find one when you're being chased is a chore, but trying to use one is really impossible. On the topic of getting chased, the guards' mentality is an issue as well. They will call you out when you're only walking around, and even if you slip for a second, they will chase you. Guards can parkour like you do, and will only stop once you're out of their sight. In theory. Most of the time, you'll continue being hunted until you can hide yourself by sitting with people or hiding behind curtains. Then the guards will assume that you learn the error of your ways and leave. One nitpick I would say about the hiding mechanic is that you can't leave cover until you're unnoticed, which also breaks the flow. One last thing to talk about is the horse riding. The first half of the game, there's no quick travel system, which means you must go through the same fields to your next destination. And there is nothing within these fields. There are viewpoints, but unlike the other ones in the game, they really don't do anything besides reveal the map. No collectibles, no people, just the map. It really is boring going through these fields, and I wish there was more to it. One of the problems with the story, besides having names that even a whole week of school couldn't make me remember, is the main character himself. The story's focus is mainly on him, with other characters getting very little screen time to develop, which would be nice if the main character was in any way likable.
Altair's personality can easily be compared to that of a brick. They're both big solid masses that no one can relate to, and they don't change no matter what you do to them. Altair acts with the same seriousness, with a hint of violence throughout the entire game. He thinks about things only to dismiss them as soon as somebody tells him to. And he doesn't have any wit or charm to him that actually makes him likable.
Also, some of the dialogue comes off as someone who's just reading from the script, with voices changed just to signify a change in mood.
What is the truth?
We place faith in ourselves. We see the world the way it really is, and hope that one day all mankind might see the same.
What? I have offered you a chance to restore your lost honor.
Not lost. Taken. By you. And then you've sent me to fetch it again like some damn dog.
But the real main character, Desmond, is a character I really hate. All he does is whine and talk to people. He doesn't talk about or even show signs of the distress he's claiming to have, and moves around like a tank being piloted by somebody who isn't sure how to drive it.
At least this is the last time we have to deal with him, right?
I think it was good of them to choose the Crusades for the setting of this game. Since it was around a time period free of guns and politics, the fighting could be justified. I also like how the game makes Jerusalem and Damascus in a 5-minute horse ride. However, one big flaw they seem to include was beggars and insane people. They will always come at inopportune times and always get in your way. You're not supposed to kill civilians, as doing so makes you lose synchronization, but trying not to stab them is just next to impossible after the halfway point. Graphically, I think this game looks okay. I think there's a lot of detail put into the environment and the characters themselves, but the majority of the colors you're going to be seeing is brown, light brown, and dark brown, which can make the scenery boring at times. Overall, I think this is a game that people should skip. The parkour is fun when it works, and there are bits where I found myself having fun, but it repeats itself too often. Planning out assassination sounds cool, but it mostly involves just a bunch of mini-games and then watching cutscenes. Also, the combat's the same every time, and the enemy AI doesn't allow us freedom. At the end of the game, I was just trying to find an end to the game, and be done with this one. I don't think I can accurately represent my thoughts with its number, so I'm not going to. I don't want to give you guys the wrong idea.
Well, I guess that's the end of this game. Didn't find any answers though, so I guess I just gotta move on to the next one, which is Assassin's Creed 2, the Xbox 360. Now, I wonder where I put that. Oh, there it is. Oh god.
Riders must